The second major of the year starts in a few weeks. The best teams in the world will be challenged by the rising contenders in Berlin. The StarLadder and I-League Berlin Major main qualifier begins on 23rd August, where 16 teams will compete for 8 slots at the major. 8 teams who then qualify will face the top 8 teams from the previous major on the grand stage in Germany at the Mercedes-Benz Arena. $1 million and the first strike at Intel Grand Slam Season 3 is up for grabs, as one of the teams will cement their legacy at the top of the CSGO food chain. Are you ready for the Berlin Major? Astralis. The former best team in the world have been off their footing recently and are lurking around in the top 3 global rankings. Their era lasted for more than a year, and it was finally about time that someone overthrew them. Astralis slipped just a little, and Liquid and Vitality were standing right beside to overtake them. They won the last major in Katowice, but they've looked vulnerable ever since then. They fumbled a little and achieved a 5th-6th finish at the ESL Pro League Season 9, and they were upset by Vitality and Cologne. Their eyes are now set on the Berlin Major. Can they shut down the haters and prove to the world that their reign isn't over yet, but merely took a short pause?
His own gun, I think, blocked the vision, and now Xyp9x knows that they're working in one above. Oh, he's the lamb, and ENCE the slaughter, because it's Xyp9x that's gonna hold it off!
Team Liquid. High on the Intel Grand Slam victory and hot off the latest deal with Marvel, Liquid are looking great in their new colors. Their superpowers have reached new heights ever since they won ESL Cologne and conquered the Intel Grand Slam in just a matter of few months. Nitro is a free-spirited in-game leader who gives plenty of freedom to his teammates. When set piece executes and plans fail, they do not hesitate freestyling it and working on picks. And the players have the autonomy of calling shots based on the situations. It's almost like they don't have an in-game leader. It's just 5 super talented, super confident people who are not afraid of brawling. This loose style of CS is exactly what makes them such a difficult team to play against. Will they continue their dominating spree at the major, or will someone else step up to put an end to their era?
He has a nade and a smoke. Smoke would help for retreat, not a flash to try and get him into position. So Nitro's pretty much flying solo at this point. Stewie's already rotating back. Twist is still at the bottom of the stairs for a fast flank, but they remain a man down. At 31 seconds, Nitro changes that with the first and the second. Looking so good. He gets a third, looking for the fourth. Doesn't even matter at this point. Stewie's on it. Nitro's got that point. What a round on the AWP. That might be.
ENCE almost completed a Cinderella run at the last major in Katowice. From zero to hero, ENCE came out of nowhere and showed the world how big of a threat the Finnish squad can be. Unfortunately, their story still has too many almosts. They were able to win Blast Madrid, but they have fallen flat and came in second at DreamEaters Dallas and IEM Chicago. Their extensive map pool and the ability to enforce executes makes them a deadly force to be reckoned with. The Berlin Major is where they could show the world that they also have what it takes to win the championship. But can they edge past the other big names that will be competing?
Is this the end for Liquid in Katowice? Alu, 32 kills to his name's gonna add another one, and here's the crossfire. Alu with 2. This could be all she wrote for Liquid. 20 seconds left, and Alu chipped in for a third and a fourth. ENCE have done it. They pulled off the upset.
FaZe Clan has some of the most talented players in the world, and this super team was built to dominate. However, they've got a long way to go towards world domination. The team has been in the news for several reasons in the last few months, one of them being about potentially picking up coldzera. And while that did not happen, one cannot forget the already talented roster they are sporting. Nico is quite possibly the best aimer in the world. Guardian is a beast opper who can often shut down mid all by himself. Olofmeister is a treasure trove of experience who has attended every major ever. And alongside him is Neo, the classic old-school veteran who has been around since the inception of CS. This team of superstars aim to get their much-awaited major win in Berlin.
That could be enough to turn it, because now FUR has the information. They're able to work this together. And just the pistols to play with. They needed the kill. Guardian's got to make up for it. He's tapping in, but he can't find it. Fallen's on the defuse. Fallen is on the defuse. The lineup, he's still there. It's done. He doesn't have the ammo. He doesn't have the ammo. He's holding it. Oh! Guardian! How does he deny that? In that situation, that should have been done.
Navi have had a quiet few months. They took plenty of time off to practice adopting the Astralis approach. The last time we saw them in action was in Cologne, where they lifted the curtain on Boomich. They haven't participated in any tournament since, which means they are likely practicing their butts off with the new player so that they can wreak havoc at the StarLadder major. And of course, let's not forget about their big gun, Simple. With what many consider to be the best player in the world wearing that yellow jersey, he can single-handedly change the tides of war for Navi. The team is dreaded for their slow, methodical style of play that's likened to torturing their opponents. And just when the opponents think they're getting used to the pain, they'll change the pace and deliver a quick death. They'll be looking to bag their first ever major win in Berlin.
14 seconds, they've got to get out. Simple gets only one in return. Jumps up and somehow finds Sergey, but he hasn't found the bomb. He will now. And he goes away from default because he doesn't want to get naded. He also knows there's a flank, and he also knows he needs position. Whoa! He actually gets the first one. He's got a chance. He knows Alu's up close, and he sneaks around. Oh, that's what we like from Simple. The crowd, absolutely.
NIP has been shuffling between Draken and Dennis since the start of the year. They finished 5th-8th in the last major in IM Katowice, but they've been struggling ever since. They brought in their young gun Plopsky at ESL Cologne. However, this time he cannot attend the event with them as he was already playing for Ancient at the start of the European minor. Thus, Golden has been loaned out from Cloud9 to step into his shoes. This tournament might just be an emotional roller coaster for NIP fans, especially now when they know that Get Right's days could be numbered. The team has recently been in the news for various reasons. Tiffs with the management, an unstable lineup, and an emotional Get Right might sound like a disaster waiting to happen, but fans will be hoping that the team can bring out the NIP magic once again.
He only had 3 on entry. Boost up late on Flower Pots. They're looking that direction. Flaming gets one more, but now it's Get Right's time to come alive. Yes! He's done it so many times. It might be the last, but he's going to go in style.
You can see what it means to Get Right. That's an absolutely monstrous round from him.
Since last month, MIBR's coach Zeus has been playing in the active roster after Coldzera expressed his desire to leave the team. StarLadder has been kind enough to them as they introduced a rule which allowed a coach to step in for any player, even when it's not an emergency situation. Their form hasn't been too great, and they've only been able to achieve one top 5 finish at IEM Chicago over the last 2 months. Can Zeus get his team to perform a miracle in Berlin?
Over. They're in close proximity, but Fur falls, and it is up to the big man as they push their way back around, but he's toying with them, Ben. The KZ's paying off, and so will the no-scope straight in towards Fugly.
He's played this so well, and he gets the no-scope to end it all. That was so good.
Renegades have been knocking on the doors of Tier 1 teams for a long time now, and finally they have their shot. A deep run at IEM Katowice ensures that they have a direct slot to the New Legend stage in Berlin. However, it won't be easy for them. The Australian team is the frontrunner for the Eastern Hemisphere. They haven't been in the best of form in the last few months, but every now and then, they take maps off the big boys, and that hope is what keeps us all going. Renegades need to step it up in the major if they want to keep dancing with the big boys. This time though, they're looking to do more than just dance. They want to give them a run for their money.
JKS is going to struggle to hold. Fully blinded, JKS holds stead. First kill, second kill, and he's doing an excellent job at holding. Brings them down and allows his teammates to get in. There's the bomb dropped in JKS. What a...
That was all the teams who have secured their slots in the New Legend stage. The rest of them will have to go through the grueling New Challengers stage. Vitality have experienced defeat at the hands of Renegades and NIP in Katowice, and they'll have to compete in the New Challengers stage. However, they've improved leaps and bounds ever since the last major, and they have climbed up to claim the rank of the second best team in the world according to HLTV. Zyvu is so strong that even Simple, the best player in the world, admitted that he is close to his level. The Frenchmen are the final boss of the New Challengers stage. They certainly have what it takes to make it to the championship stage at the Mercedes-Benz Arena, but do they have it in them to win it all?
Goes down, leads with 2, Nitro steps back out again, and Zywu to get the bomb back. Again, we said double overtime isn't out of possibility, isn't unbelievably impossible, but it might be with ZywOo finally hitting shots like that as he steps back into the door, and he won't plant. There's no rush. Slow it down as Nap walks out. ZywOo confirms the second map for Vitality.
Energy have been stuck as the second best team in North America, although they've given all the top teams in the world a good run for their money in multiple tournaments. The team recently brought in Stanislaw in place of Daps during ESL 1 Cologne, and he helped the team finish 5th-6 in his debut tournament. There, they meet Liquid Sweat Bullets and come super close to defeating the best team in the world. Can they finally catch up with the Apex Predators?
Can go absolutely huge as he holds towards the vents.
Yeah, Cirque, everyone talks about him. Here we go. Oh, what is that shot?
Oh, God,
got
no.
3.
No!
Surely there's no way. Cirque is a beast, Henry.
G2 helped put French Counter-Strike back on the world map and showed us that Vitality aren't the only team from the country that can dish out punishment. They had a lackluster 14th place finish at the last major, which puts them in the grueling challengers stage. While the rest of the year wasn't too hot for them, they peaked at the ESL Pro League a few months ago, showing that they are in good form. They have amped up their firepower and replaced Body with Ammonic in March. Shox is just as deadly as he was in his glory days. Amongst their ranks is Kenny S, once regarded as the best topper in the world. And while he might have faded away, what better time to wake up than at the major?
That Molotov's not going to land. The smoke was there.
Neo would have gone down for sure. If he throws a Molotov a second later, he gets the kill! Oh, what the hell is that for Kenny S? He's back! It's 2-on-1! And Guardian has nothing to do about this. He's stuck in CDP. The first shot won't connect, but Kenny S certainly did. That was absolutely god tier.
Mousesports have had a change of heart in the last few months. They did not make it to the major last time as the European minor turned out to be too ruthless for them. Ever since then, they've changed their lineup and are looking more consistent now. They still have Robs and Chris J, two great aimers in the roster. On top of that, Carrigan is now leading the team and he brings in much needed structure. Frozen and Voxic are in good form too. This major might just be exactly what Mousesports need to establish themselves as a top-tier team again.
Wants to try and hold off the rotations. Oscar's gone. Chris isn't. Op still in the picture. Op still very much in the round. Oh, Chris! He's found 3. It's down to a 2-on-2. Chris, can he close this with an ace? Oh my God! Chris, the Wolf of Wall Street gets it.
FURIA, the brave South American roster, was in the spotlight a few months ago when they beat Astralis on Nuke.
And the advantages continue for FURIA. 4 versus 2. Surely there's no way back into this device. 1 versus 4. Oh my God, FURIA have done it. 16-14. It was never in doubt, Dan. It was never in doubt.
They are a fast-paced team that loves to take fights. This playstyle is precisely what makes them such a pleasure to watch. They have some great aimers and a loose playstyle which lets them capitalize on the same. They came second at the ECS Season 7 finals and won the ESCA Season 31 Global Challenge, which let them climb up to the position of the 5th best in the world for some time. This team has the highest upset potential in the entire tournament. They are very likely to make it to the next stage. Can they go all the way and complete a dream run? This Danish team has been living in the shadows of Astralis for far too long. After failing to make it through the European qualifier, they got a second chance at the minor play-in. They were desperately looking to get into a major, because last time too, they had to go through the minor play-in and failed to make it to IEM Katowice. Can North finally find redemption here at the Berlin major?
New update. This is their smoke. And now, oh, AC doubles up, triples up, what is that? That's criminal!
AZ's looking unreal down in CT. Wants to try and get more done. And oh my goodness, AZ. What a pistol round it's been from him. The ace as AZ steps up.
Crazy. They came out of nowhere and are already shaking things up in the European circuit. After lurking around Europe under the banner of Valiant and stalking out all the unpolished talent, Crazy finally unveiled their true colors and are ready for the world. They've upset teams like Vitality, Ago, and Virtus Pro in the ESCA MDL Season 31. And they have the potential to throw many curveballs, especially in best of ones. forZe is a solid Tier 2 team from Russia, and they've been competing against European and CIS teams for quite some time. Although they have never been able to make it to the big leagues, it was about time someone led them into a major qualifier so that they could show the world exactly what they're made of. They've already defeated some of the attending teams like Avangar, Syman and HellRaisers in the recent past, more specifically in the GG New York Invitational. To top it all off, they won the CIS minor to secure this spot. They fought tooth and nail to get here and sure aren't going down without a fight. This is the second Australian team that will be attending this major. They switched out Sterling for Seiko and have been practicing with him since the start of 2019. They finished dead last in the previous major qualifier and want to change things around this time. A 7th-8 placing in IEM Sydney and last place at the ESL Pro League Season 8 aren't exactly achievements worth boasting about. But this could prove to be an opportunity for them, since it's highly unlikely that any of the other teams have painted a bullseye on Grayhound's back.
If Smoke's in side, is anyone going to watch the push? Is Urkas just going to be able to come straight out and get a bunch of kills? And it's Nate's about takes it in! It's 4 kills!
Among the superstar North American lineups of Liquid and Energy, Shazam works silently in the shadows along with his young allies. They finished 12th-14th in the last major and have been struggling to break into the top 8 of any big tournaments. Complexity probably don't have the championship winning caliber, but they can definitely hope to cause some damage and make it to the next stage.
Shazam to take advantage of. This is Dap's dead, no question. Knows Ethan's on the site. Boom! Looks back. He's read it so well. Fugly's gone to the AWP as well. He can't find the shot. Shazam! And Shazam beat him to the punch, but Fugly, shoulder peeks. Oh my god. Gives himself up. Shazam can pull us all back. Oh, he's done it. He's done it for Complexity. It's 2-0. Both in overtime.
Hailing from Kazakhstan, Avangar are known to play a very disciplined brand of Counter-Strike. Their fundamentals are crystal clear, and it's these fundamentals that have brought them so far. If they stick to their trade and do what works well for them, they might have a deep run in the tournament. They've been consistently getting top 3 finishes at the ECS Season 7 weekly European tournaments, and are continuously grinding it to make it big in Europe. The major exposes them to stronger opponents, and maybe this experience is what they need to advance.
Himself in a 1-on-2 unaware. Volta's that close. Great reactions. You talked about his AWP. He's got 3 on the pistol this time to start it off, and that's going to build up his bank to get towards the much sooner now. If he's got it on the T side of Inferno, I'll be even more impressed.
Cade with low HP. This could be his unraveling and his Jane delivery.
This team has had an unstable lineup over the last few months. Hobbit left in April, and Nuki was brought in his place. Oscar, too, hasn't been in the team for very long after leaving Mousesports. They have failed to make it to some big tournaments in the recent past, like IEM Chicago and ESL 1 New York. Even though HellRaisers used to be one of the most dominant teams in the CIS and European circuit a couple of years ago, they've lost their charm and will be looking forward to finding it again in this major.
Have that kit to work with at the very least, and he spots Scar-B down on the ramp. He'll deal with him, smoke down on the bomb to try and bait these peaks, and actually, he's sticking it. Tizian's not aware. Oh, Oscar's done it.
INTZ are lucky to be here. They did not make it through the minors and even struggled in the minor play-in. Luckily, they were able to beat Team MVP from Korea in the lower bracket and hence secured the final slot to the major, becoming the lowest seeded team. But even when seeded lowest, they rank higher than some of the other attending teams such as TYLOO, DreamEaters and Syman on the HLTV leaderboards. KNG and Phelps have competed at the highest level of CS and have been dancing with the best teams in the world when they played for Luminosity and MIBR respectively. These two have what it takes to lead the rest of their teammates and make some noise in the major qualifier.
Oh my god.
Oh! Someone put a stop to INTZ, because right now Bravado definitely can't. 12-3.
TYLOO, the Chinese juggernaut, represents the Asian hope in this major. However, they've traded out Excurate for Freeman in June. Even though he's played for the team several times before, it might take them some time to find their synergy. They could not make it to the top 10 of the last few big tournaments they attended, like DreamHack Dallas, Star Series I-League Season 7, and the ESL Pro League, but they did give FaZe and Liquid a tough fight in Pro League, so that's something. Last major at Katowice, they could not make it to the Legend stage. Can the Chinese team muster enough magic to make it through this time? DreamEaters DreamEaters defeated INTZ in the minor play-in to qualify for this major. They're an underdog Russian team whose highest peak ever yet was at the 39th spot on the HLTV global rankings. In order to survive in this major, they will have to study their opponents well. They have a 63% win ratio on Train and 61 on Inferno. If they can somehow make the Weeder work in their favor, they still might have a chance. This is an international team with 2 players from Kazakhstan, 1 from Azerbaijan, a German and a Russian in the mix. They've been struggling to make it big in the CIS scene. However, surprisingly, they were able to defeat DreamEaters to qualify from the minor itself. With hardly any achievements to their name, they want to go big on their first attempt at a major. Who do you think will lift the trophy this time around? Subscribe for more CSGO content. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.